Congratulations.
On.
On First of all, are there times that you doubt yourself and what you're doing? I mean, given the fact that you sued some of the most powerful agencies in the world, and I'm speaking about the CIA,
Right.
FBI, I'm speaking about the IRS,
Yeah. The
the,
DEA,
the
State
DEA, State
Departments, U.S.
Department.
attorneys. Yeah.
How does one think about that and about doing that? Like, are there times where you go like, should I be keeping myself in check and seeing what I'm really doing here? Like, are there times where you're like, you know what, I'm doing this, but I think I'm putting my life on the line. I mean, you're obviously doing that every single time, but I think there are also levels to it.
I think this goes back to what I was saying just a few seconds ago that people don't push back enough, or people assume that it's not possible to push back. Um, I think that part of the reason why there exists a class of criminals who have been able to embed themselves into leadership positions in Nigeria is that, first of all, not enough Nigerians have the information to even know how to even establish the background of these people. Not enough Nigerians have that information. Not enough Nigerians know that it's possible to access this information, that the places these people are coming from, their records kept for everything. It's about knowing where to look and knowing how to get access to it. The records exist. So there's that. And then secondly, that not enough people realize that regardless of however many roadblocks are placed in your path, there is always a way. There will always be a way. Like, as long as these records exist, this information exists somewhere, there will be a way to get it. And if I haven't found that way yet, it just means I haven't looked hard enough. There's going to be a way, right? So, it's not that, this is not to say that it's a straightforward thing that I just woke up one morning, like my FOIA was rejected, and I said, oh yeah, so cool. Next thing I'm going to sue everyone. No, it's not that easy. I obviously had some help. Aaron Greenspan, the founder of plainsight.org, he obviously was a huge help because he knows these processes like the back of his hand. This is what he does on a day-to-day basis. So it was actually even his idea that if you like, we can take this further. And I'm like, yeah, I would like to. And how do I do that? And he outlined it to me. This is what we do. If FOIAs are rejected, this is the process for challenging that. There's a process for challenging that. Again, this is information most people don't have. Right? Most people think FOIA is rejected, that's it. You go home. No, you can challenge that. And this is the process. This is how the papers must be served. And then initially, I was even thinking small. I was just thinking of like maybe just the FBI file. He was the one who actually put the idea in my head. Look, it's not just the FBI, because everything in the US happens with like cross-agency cooperation. So if the FBI has files on him, the CIA probably does. The initial investigation was done by the IRS, so they definitely have files on him. And then this person obviously is a person of interest for US diplomatic purposes. So the State Department definitely would have some files on him as well. And then since this was a drug investigation, the DEA probably has files as well. And then the US attorneys, which basically oversees legal processes for US government institutions, they should be copied in this lawsuit as well. This is how you do it. And the only stumbling block to making this happen then is obviously the filing fees and all that. I'm like, yeah, I'll cover the costs. So $80 here, $400 there, he was also able to get a lawyer who basically did it pro bono, which was a massive help because if we'd had to pay market rate for that, that's like $30,000 that I don't have, and I was the one paying for everything, so it wouldn't have been possible. So there's that. But every step of the way, file this, file that, I'll pay. We keep it moving. Sometimes he's not allowed to file something. I have to file it myself. I would do it. And it was just put one foot in front of the other, right? I'm not going to pretend that I saw this coming. Like I planned for this to happen. No, it was just a case of this is where I am now. That's where I want to be. I'm not looking at that now. I'm just looking at my feet and I'm putting one in front of the other. So right now, what is the process that I need to do right now? So the FOIA has been rejected. Okay, we need to file a lawsuit. We need to get a lawyer who's going to work pro bono. We've got that. How do we file it? Okay, we've served papers on 5 of the 6. The CIA rejected service, being the very funny institution that it is, because it kind of functions almost outside of the US, almost like an independent country on its own. So there's a special process for serving papers on the CIA and all of that. This is how it's done. I just put one foot in front of the other. And then this was 2 Fridays ago. I was in the shower for a very long time. And I came out like it was around like 1 a.m. local time. And I got to like my phone on the bed. There was a message from Aaron. He's like, I have very good news. And I'm thinking, okay, maybe the very good news is that, because we were having issues with serving papers on the CIA. So maybe the good news is CIA had accepted service finally. Because initially what we had been told is this potentially could drag on till 2026.
Oof.
So I thought maybe that's the good news. Like, why is he using the term very? That's just good news. That's not very good news. Why is he exaggerating it or whatever? I open and I'm like, yeah, okay, yeah, cool, shoot. I'm listening. And he sends me this document, this PDF. And I open it and I'm scanning through it and I'm like, you what, mate? You what? Like they're giving us everything. And I sent him a message like, Aaron, what's what's going on? Why have they agreed? And he's like, I don't know, but there's a possibility a lot of it might be redacted. But nonetheless, this is huge. So this was the thing was dated September 11, which was a Monday. This was the previous Friday, which was like September 8th. So I couldn't talk about it yet until it was officially filed. So for like the whole weekend, I had to like sit down on it and keep my mouth shut, which was very difficult. I had to keep my mouth shut till it was filed officially. Monday afternoon, then it got filed. And I was like, yeah, okay, we're getting somewhere. And I put it out. I had shared it with Samuel, who's the editor of People's Gazette as well. And he ended up being the only mainstream editor in Nigeria who covered that story.